This slide sets the stage for our course, Django Security Cheat Sheet. Throughout this course, we will focus on securing your Django applications effectively. As the instructor from SecurityTech, I will guide you through best practices, techniques, and tools to enhance the security of your web projects built with Django. Let's get started on making your applications more resilient against common threats.
In this course, we'll be focusing on enhancing the security of your Django applications. The primary goal is to equip you with the knowledge to prevent common web vulnerabilities, ensuring your projects are robust against potential threats. This course is targeted specifically at Django developers, security analysts, and DevSecOps engineers, providing you with practical skills and best practices tailored to your roles. By the end of this course, you'll have a comprehensive understanding of how to secure your Django applications effectively. Let's discuss the importance of Django security. First, considering its relevance, securing your Django application is crucial to mitigating threats such as cross-site scripting, XSS, cross-site request forgery CSRF, and SQL injection. Addressing these common vulnerabilities is key to protecting your application and maintaining user trust. Beyond threat mitigation, ensuring compliance with security standards is another significant factor. Adhering to best practices and industry standards not only bolsters your app's security, but also adds credibility and reliability to your development practices. Lastly, let's talk about the certification benefit. By understanding and implementing strong security measures in Django, you can demonstrate recognized expertise. This can be beneficial for career advancement, as well as for companies looking for professionals proficient in securing their web applications. In summary, focusing on Django security helps in mitigating critical threats, ensuring compliance, and achieving a recognized level of expertise.
Now, let's delve into some general recommendations to enhance the security of your Django applications. First, it's essential to keep Django up to date. Ensuring that both Django and its dependencies are updated helps address security vulnerabilities promptly. Regular updates are critical as they include patches for discovered security issues and bugs that could otherwise be exploited. Secondly, remember to disable debug mode in your production environment. Setting debug equals true can expose sensitive information, making your application vulnerable to attacks. In production, always configure this setting to false to hide detailed error messages and stack traces that could be leveraged by attackers. Following these recommendations is fundamental in maintaining a secure Django application and protecting it from common security threats and vulnerabilities. When it comes to preventing brute force attacks in your Django application, two effective tools you can use are Django Rate Limit and Django Axes. These tools can help limit the number of login attempts and detect potential threats. Let's focus on Django Axes, a robust tool designed to prevent brute force attacks by tracking failed login attempts and locking out users who exceed predefined thresholds. Here's a quick example of how to install Django Axes. pip install Django Axes. Make sure to regularly update Django and its dependencies to maintain security and disable debug settings in production to prevent exposing sensitive information. Now, moving on to authentication, Django provides built-in support for handling user authentication. You need to include django.contrib.auth, django.contrib.contenttypes, and django.contrib.sessions in your installed apps setting. Python installed apps equals django.contrib.auth to django.contrib.contenttypes to django.sessions. This ensures that essential components for authentication and session management are correctly set up in your Django project.
In this section, we delve into viewing authentication using decorators in Django. One of the most common and essential decorators is the @login_required decorator. This decorator ensures that only authenticated users can access a particular view. Let's consider a straightforward example. First, you need to import the decorator. Python from django.contrib.auth.decorators import login required. Then you can apply it to your view function. Python @login required def my view request. Your view logic here pass. By using the @login required decorator, you make sure that any requests to my view come from users who are logged in. If a non-authenticated user tries to access this view, they will be redirected to the login page. This helps to secure your application's functionality by ensuring that only logged-in users can access certain parts of your application.
In this slide, we're focusing on password validators, which are crucial for enforcing password policies in Django. The auth password validators setting allows you to specify various validators to ensure the passwords meet certain criteria. For instance, the minimum length validator requires passwords to have a minimum length, here set to 8 characters. Another example is the common password validator, which checks against common passwords to enhance security. These validators help ensure that user passwords are both complex and unique, reducing the risk of unauthorized access. By configuring these settings, you can significantly enhance the security of your application.
In this section, we'll explore the concept of key management with an emphasis on managing the secret key in your Django project. The secret key is a vital element for the security of your application, used for cryptographic signing and should be handled with utmost care. One best practice is to use the getRandomSecretKey function provided by Django to generate a strong and complex secret key. This approach ensures that your secret key is robust against attacks and not easily guessable. Additionally, it's crucial to keep your secret key secure by storing it in environment variables rather than hard-coding it into your settings file. This strategy not only promotes better security hygiene, but also enhances the flexibility and portability of your application across different environments. Implementing these best practices will significantly enhance the security posture of your Django application by properly managing its keys.
In this slide, we will focus on configuring security headers in a Django application. Security headers are crucial as they help protect your application against various attacks, such as clickjacking and cross-site scripting, XSS. To set up these security headers, you need to configure your middleware settings in Django. In your middleware settings, include django.middleware.security.security-middleware and django.middleware.clickjacking.xframeOptionsMiddleware. Here's how you can set it up in your settings.py file. Python middleware, django.middleware.security.security-middleware to Django middleware clickjacking.xframeOptionsMiddleware. The security middleware helps you implement security practices recommended by Django, whereas the Xframe Options middleware helps prevent clickjacking by controlling whether your website can be framed by another site. Ensuring these middlewares are included is the first step towards hardening your application's defenses.
In this part of our course, we're focusing on example security settings for your Django application. Let's take a look at some important header options you should consider configuring. First, Secure Content Type NoSniff is set to true. This helps prevent the browser from trying to guess the MIME type and potentially opening your website up to certain types of attacks, like executing malicious scripts. Next, we have Secure Browser XSS Filter, also set to true. This enables the cross-site scripting XSS filter built into most modern browsers, helping to prevent XSS attacks by sanitizing user inputs. The Secure HSTS Seconds option we set to 3600. This configuration instructs browsers to only communicate with your site over HTTPS for the specified number of seconds, adding another layer of security by enforcing secure connections. Finally, Xframe Options is set to deny. This setting protects your application from clickjacking by preventing your site from being framed in other domains, thereby blocking potential malicious activity that could be set up to trick users into interacting with a hidden frame. These configurations play a crucial role in securing your Django application by establishing a robust set of security headers.
In this section, we will be discussing the configuration settings for secure cookies, which are essential for enhancing the security of user sessions and protecting against various web vulnerabilities. Firstly, Session Cookie Secure equals true is a setting that ensures the session cookie is only sent over HTTPS. This prevents the cookie from being transmitted over insecure connections, reducing the risk of interception and session hijacking. Similarly, CSRF Cookie Secure equals true ensures that the CSRF cross-site request forgery token is also only sent over HTTPS. This setting protects the CSRF token from being exposed over insecure connections, thereby enhancing the overall security of the CSRF protection mechanism. By implementing these secure cookie configurations, we significantly reduce the risk of sensitive information being exposed to potential attackers.
When setting custom cookies in Django, you can utilize the HTAP response set cookie method to add cookies to the response object. In this example, we create an HTTP response with the content SomeResponse. Using the set cookie method, we then add a cookie named myCookie with a value of cookie value. Additionally, by setting the secure attribute to true, we ensure that this cookie is only sent over HTTPS connections, adding an extra layer of security. Python response equals HTTP response SomeResponse response.setCookie myCookie cookie value secure equals true. This method is useful for customizing the behavior and properties of the cookies your application sets, allowing for a more tailored and secure user experience.
Cross-site request forgery, commonly known as CSRF, is an attack that tricks the victim into submitting a malicious request. It's important to protect your applications against such vulnerabilities. In Django, CSRF protection is implemented using middleware. You need to include the CRView middleware in your middleware setting. This middleware will ensure that your views are protected from CSRF attacks by requiring a token for post requests. Here's how you configure it. Python middleware equals django.middleware.csrviewmiddleware. By adding this middleware, Django will automatically check for a CSRF token in post requests, helping safeguard against CSRF attacks.
In this slide, we are focusing on how to implement CSRF protection in your Django forms. This is essential for safeguarding your application against CSRF attacks. To ensure that your forms are protected, you need to include a CSRF token within them. Here's a simple example to illustrate this. In your form template, use the form tag as shown. HTML, form method of post, sent CSRF token sent. Your form fields here. By adding sent CSRF token sent inside the form tag, Django will automatically include a CSRF token in your form. This token works as a unique identifier that is checked on the server side when the form is submitted, ensuring that the request comes from an authenticated source. This small step is crucial to help prevent unauthorized commands from being executed by malicious users. Make sure to include this tag in all your forms that deal with sensitive operations, such as login forms or any form that modifies data. This way, you're adding a layer of security that helps in mitigating the risk of CSRF attacks. Cross-site scripting, or XSS, is a security vulnerability that allows attackers to inject malicious scripts into content from otherwise trusted websites. On this slide, we'll discuss how to mitigate XSS risks using Django templates. One of the primary methods for XSS protection in Django templates is automatic HTML escaping. By default, Django templates automatically escape any HTML content rendered to the page. This means that any data you display in your templates is treated as plain text rather than HTML, preventing the execution of malicious scripts. It's important to avoid using the safe, mark-safe, or JSON script filters arbitrarily. These filters disable the automatic escaping, thereby introducing a potential security risk. Use them only when you're certain that the data being rendered is safe and has been properly sanitized. By adhering to these practices when using Django templates, you can significantly enhance the security of your web applications and protect against XSS attacks. To ensure the security of data transmission, it's essential to configure your application to use HTTPS. HTTPS, or Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, provides a secure communication channel between the client and the server by encrypting the data transferred. To enforce the use of HTTPS in your application, you should set the Secure SSL Redirect setting to True. This setting ensures that all HTTP requests are redirected to HTTPS, thereby preventing any unencrypted communication. By using HTTPS, you protect sensitive data such as personal information, authentication credentials, and other confidential information from being intercepted by attackers. Implementing HTTPS is a crucial step in building a robust security posture for your web application. When your Django application is running behind a proxy, proper configuration is essential to maintain secure communication. In this context, the setting Secure Proxy SSL Header is crucial. This setting helps Django understand when it should consider a request as secure. The Secure Proxy SSL Header setting takes a tuple as an argument. In this case, we're using HTTPX forwarded proto HTTPS, This tells Django to trust the X-forwarded proto header sent by the proxy to determine if the request is secure. If this header indicates HTTPS, Django will treat the request as coming through a secure connection, enhancing the overall security of your application. By using this setting in combination with proper proxy configuration, you ensure that even when your application is behind a proxy, it accurately recognizes the secure state of requests. This is a critical step in maintaining secure communication channels for your Django application.
In this slide, we focus on enhancing the security of the Django admin panel by changing the default admin URL. By default, Django's admin interface is accessible at /admin/, which makes it a tempting target for attackers. To mitigate this risk, we can customize the admin URL to something less predictable. To change the admin URL, you can replace the default with a custom path in your Django project's urls.py file. For example, Python from django.urls, import path, include URL patterns equals path custom admins admin.site.urls. In this example, the admin panel will now be accessible at /customadmin/ instead of the default /admin/. This simple adjustment can significantly reduce the likelihood of automated attacks attempting to exploit known vulnerabilities in the admin interface. Let's move forward in the course, where we'll discuss further techniques to protect your application, such as mitigating SQL injection by using Django's built-in query sets and query parameterization methods. So here we are focusing on SQL injection mitigation in Django. This is a crucial aspect to ensure the security of your web application. One effective method is to use Django's query sets, which inherently support query parameterization. This means that when you use the query set APIs, Django automatically manages and escapes the parameters being inserted into the queries, thus protecting your application from SQL injection attacks. Parameterized queries ensure that data inputs are treated as variables and not executable code, greatly reducing security vulnerabilities. This built-in feature of Django allows developers to write secure database queries without extra effort.
When you write custom SQL queries in Django, it is crucial to exercise caution to avoid potential security vulnerabilities, such as SQL injection. When using raw SQL, always escape parameters to ensure they are handled safely. By doing so, you protect your application from malicious inputs that could compromise your database. The importance of following these best practices cannot be overstated, as they help maintain the security and integrity of your web application.
Clickjacking is a common web application vulnerability where an attacker tricks users into clicking on something different from what the user perceives, often leading to unintended actions. To mitigate this risk, Django provides built-in middleware that helps protect your application. One of the key mechanisms is the X-frame options header. By configuring this middleware, you can instruct browsers to prevent your web pages from being framed. In the settings, you can set X-frame options equals deny. This setting informs the browser to disallow your web pages from being embedded in a frame, iframe, or object tag. This protection is crucial in avoiding potential clickjacking attempts and ensuring your users' actions are not hijacked by malicious entities.
When dealing with user-uploaded content, it's crucial to implement robust security measures to protect your application and users. First, it's advisable to serve user-generated content from a separate domain. This minimizes the risks associated with cross-site scripting XSS attacks by isolating the impact to a less critical domain. Next, you should validate both the file types and extensions of uploaded files rigorously. Accept only the file types that you explicitly need, and ensure that the extensions match the expected file types. This helps prevent vulnerabilities like arbitrary file uploads, which can lead to malicious code execution on your server.
Now, let's delve into some additional security practices specific to Python code security. It's crucial to ensure that your Python code is stored outside the web server's root directory. This practice prevents unauthorized access to your server-side scripts and application logic by ensuring they aren't served directly via HTTP requests. Another important aspect is to limit access to caching systems and databases using a firewall. By doing this, you create an additional layer of security, restricting who and what can interact with these critical components of your application. This approach helps mitigate the risk of unauthorized data access or potential breaches. Implementing these best practices will substantially enhance the overall security of your application, safeguarding your data and code from various threats. In conclusion, let's summarize the key points we've covered. First, it's essential to keep all your components up to date to mitigate vulnerabilities. This includes regularly updating Django and its dependencies. Second, leverage the built-in security features of Django. Django has many security measures baked in, like CSRF protection, SQL injection prevention, and XSS safeguards. Finally, always follow best practices for developing secure applications. This includes not only coding practices, but also proper configuration and deployment strategies. These steps will help ensure that your Django applications are robust and secure. Now that we've recapped the key points from our discussion, let's move on to some final thoughts and next steps to wrap up our course on Django security. Firstly, it's crucial to continue learning from OWASP recipes. They offer comprehensive guidelines and practical approaches to help secure your applications. Staying updated with Django security announcements is another critical step. This ensures you are aware of the latest vulnerabilities and patches, helping maintain the integrity of your projects. Incorporating these practices and continuously expanding your knowledge will significantly enhance the security of your Django applications.
On this slide, we'll delve into the crucial resources that can further solidify your understanding of Django security practices. First, I recommend checking out the OWASP Django Security Cheat Sheet. This is an excellent resource that provides a comprehensive list of security best practices specifically tailored for Django applications. It will help you identify common vulnerabilities and implement countermeasures effectively. Additionally, the Django documentation on security is another indispensable source. It covers the built-in security features of Django, such as cross-site scripting, XSS protection, SQL injection prevention, and user authentication mechanisms. The documentation is thorough and regularly updated, making it a reliable reference as you continue to secure your Django applications. These resources will not only reinforce your learning, but also keep you informed about the latest security practices and recommendations. Thank you for staying with us through this course. We've covered a wide array of topics to help you secure your Django applications. If you have any questions, this is the perfect moment to ask. Additionally, we highly encourage you to engage with the content by liking, commenting, and subscribing for more updates and future courses. Sharing this information can also help others in the community benefit from these important security practices. Your feedback is invaluable to us, so please take a moment to share your thoughts and experiences. Thank you once again for your participation, and we look forward to seeing you in future courses.